I should have never agreed to go back. Not after what happened in '09. Not after Nathan vanished. But I owed Jamie. He was my brother's best friend. More like a shadow that trailed him through our teens. When the search ended, and they called it, presumed dead, I thought Jamie would let it go. Thought he'd finally leave that cursed stretch of forest to rot in its silence. But 13 years later, he showed up at my door in Portland with a bottle of whiskey and a single question. Do you believe in hunger that walks? I didn't answer. Because I did. Because I remembered mile 2147. The Pacific Crest Trail runs from Mexico to Canada, but it's the Oregon section, specifically the leg between Crater Lake and Mount Hood, that hikers whisper about in low tones around campfires. Too many go missing. Even more come back wrong, quiet, distant, like they left something out there. Or maybe brought something back. We were just kids in '09. 17. Thought we were invincible. 5 of us started the hike. Only 4 came out. 3 of us told the same story. Jamie didn't. He said something was waiting for us. Watching. And when Nate disappeared, Jamie claimed he saw it, a man with no pack, no face, just skin that didn't stop moving. We said he was in shock. Now, 13 years later, I saw that same haunted look in Jamie's eyes. The same trembling hands. I found another marker, he said. Just like before. Same carving. I didn't ask what it said. I already knew. We set off the next morning. Jamie had planned the whole thing, 2 days in, 2 out. Light gear, minimal rations. The section we were targeting wasn't even official anymore, offshoots and broken paths, where old mile markers stood leaning or were overgrown by moss. Forest Service maps didn't show it. Hell, most locals claimed it didn't exist. But Jamie had a GPS pin from a satellite shot. A crooked, white path with no records. Found it on a deleted forum thread, he muttered as we passed the last trailhead. Guy said it looked like the trail was moving. Like it was growing. I laughed, nervously. He didn't. The first day was uneventful. Eerily so. No birds. No wind. Just the crunch of boots and our own breathing. Around noon, we found the first marker. Half-rotted wood, splintered at the base. Burned in letters, barely legible, Jamie smiled like he'd just spotted a long-lost friend. Me? My stomach sank. I remembered Nate carving that exact phrase into a tree the night before he disappeared. Said it came to him in a dream. Said it was funny. We all laughed. Until he was gone. That night, we made camp in a narrow gulch surrounded by dense pine. Moonlight barely touched the ground. Jamie sat across the fire from me, sipping from a flask. You ever think maybe we were meant to come back? He asked. I stared into the flames. No. And I don't want to start now. He chuckled, dry. Thing is, I don't think we ever left. Not really. He tossed something into the fire. A photograph. It sizzled as it curled into ash. I found it in my basement. Picture of us, at the trailhead. But there were 6 of us in it. I looked up sharply. 6. He nodded. But I don't remember the 6th face. That night, I dreamed of footsteps. Not walking. Dragging. Branches cracking. Leaves sighing. A breath that didn't come from lungs. And a voice, low and hungry, still warm. Still moving. Feed us. I woke up sweating. The forest dead silent. Jamie was gone. I found Jamie standing in the trees. Barefoot. His boots sat neatly by a stump, as if removed for church. He didn't turn when I called his name. Didn't even flinch. Just stared into the black between the trunks, breathing like something heavy sat on his chest. I heard it again, he whispered. It knows we're here. I reached for his shoulder. He pulled away. You don't touch it. You don't let it mark you. He finally turned to face me. Blood under his nose. Eyes wide and bloodshot. I backed up instinctively. What the hell happened? He held up his hand. Carved into his palm with a knife, 2146. He collapsed in the dirt as the sun rose. Slept hard. Barely breathing. Muttering something I couldn't make out. I packed camp alone and debated dragging him out right then. Backtracking. Calling search and rescue. But I didn't. Because I needed to know. Because some poison part of me wanted answers. Closure. I told myself it was for Nate. But deep down, I knew. It was for me. We resumed hiking by noon. Jamie moved like he was made of wet paper. He didn't speak. But I noticed he kept glancing over his shoulder. At the trees. At the roots. At me. Around 2 p.m., we found the second marker. 2146. This one was stone, sunk deep into the trail like a gravestone. We brushed moss from the top and found something new carved beneath the number. The path must eat to remain. Jamie didn't flinch. He just nodded. Same words, he said. Same as the thread. What thread? He didn't answer. I took out my phone. No signal. Of course not. I took a picture of the stone. The screen glitched, just static. I took another. The same. Then the screen went black and refused to turn back on. Jamie looked at me and said, some things can't be remembered digitally. Only in pain. We kept moving. The trail narrowed into a ravine. Roots clung to either side like twisted ribs. The air grew damp and metallic. And then we heard it. Voices. Not loud. Just fragments. Nate's laugh. My mother's whisper. Jamie calling for help, as if from somewhere behind us. He stopped cold. That's how it starts, he said. It mimics what you miss. Then he turned to me and asked, do you remember what color Nate's eyes were? I opened my mouth. Closed it. I should have known. I'd seen them 1,000 times. But all I could picture now were black pits. Like something had erased them. Jamie nodded. You're starting to forget. It's marking you now, too. We made camp earlier that night. Neither of us slept. The fire burned low and narrow. I kept staring into the darkness beyond the trees. Felt like it was pressing in. Jamie finally spoke. I didn't lie about the sixth person. I looked over. His eyes glistened in the firelight. I found the photo in a shoebox. There's a woman in it. Blonde. Hiking boots. Standing between Nate and me. I didn't respond. Because I had a horrible feeling he was right. A pressure in my head, like a memory trying to surface, then sliding away. Her name started with an L, he said. L. Lynn. Lena. Something. I wanted to remember. God, I wanted to remember. But all I could say was, are you sure we didn't Photoshop someone in? Like a joke. Jamie smiled sadly. I thought that, too. Until I found this. He pulled out an old necklace. A tiny silver pendant shaped like a pine cone. I didn't buy this. She gave it to me. I stared at it. And for a single, flickering second, I remembered the sound of her voice. Just her voice. Don't stay on the trail after dark. Not where it's old. Then it vanished. And the fire died. I woke to the smell of iron. Jamie was gone again. I followed his footprints. fresh in the soft dirt. They led deeper than we'd planned. Off map. Past the GPS pin. Eventually I found him kneeling before another marker. This one was still warm. Like it had just been carved. Blood glistened along the edges of the number, 2145. He turned to me, tears in his eyes. It's taking our names. What? He pointed to the back of the stone. Carved neatly, beneath the date, Lena L., scratched out violently, Nathan Calhoun Jamie Price, blank space. I stared at it. My name wasn't there. Yet. 3 gone, Jamie whispered. 1 still warm. I looked around, heart pounding. What does it mean? He stood. It means we either feed it something, he looked at me. Or it takes the last one by force. We didn't speak for a while after that. Just kept walking. The trees grew thicker. Not larger, just denser, like walls crowding in. The path turned from dirt to moss-covered rock, slick and silent. Jamie said we were close. Close to what, he wouldn't say. Around midday, we came across a ravine we had no memory of. Steep, unnatural. A fissure in the earth maybe 50 feet across. Down below, nothing but black. And a bridge. Not built, grown. Roots and vines woven into a tight, sinuous span, like muscle stretched between bone. I didn't want to cross it. But Jamie said the marker was on the other side. And we couldn't go back now. We stepped onto the bridge. It didn't sway. Didn't creak. Just waited. Halfway across, Jamie stopped and looked down. There's something down there, he said. I followed his gaze. Nothing but a pit of churning dark. Not empty, just unseen. Then I saw them. Fingers. Pale, thin fingers grasping at the bottom of the bridge. Not climbing, just holding on. Too many to count. I froze. Jamie grabbed my wrist. We don't stop here. That's what it wants. What is? He looked back at me and said something I still don't understand fully, the memory that eats the body. We reached the other side and found the next marker just beyond the tree line. 2144. This one was cracked in 2. One half leaning, one buried in soft loam. No names. Just a crude carving of a spiral. Jamie stared at it for a long time. Lena drew that on her tent, he said. The night she vanished. You're sure it was her? He nodded. She said it kept her dreams from bleeding into real life. He touched the stone. Closed his eyes. And when he opened them, he whispered, she's still here. We made camp by a dead creek bed. No fire. No sound. The silence was so total, I could hear my own blood moving. Jamie sat across from me, slowly unwrapping his palm. The carved numbers were deeper now. Red, inflamed. But worse. They had spread. Not just on his hand anymore, up his wrist. Like the numbers were crawling, multiplying. I wanted to panic. He just smiled. It's remembering me, he said. Then he started carving again. Not into himself this time, into the dirt. He drew the spiral. Over and over, with shaking fingers. Then he wrote 3 names beside it. Nathan, Lena, Jamie. There was a 4th space. Empty. He looked at me and said, you have to write it yourself. That's how it spares you. If you know it's coming, it won't take your memory. Just your body. That's insane. Jamie looked up sharply. Do you remember the color of your brother's sleeping bag? I opened my mouth. Stopped. Nothing came out. He nodded. It started. That night, the dreams returned. But they weren't mine. I saw through Nate's eyes. Walking this very trail. Alone. calling my name. Then, footsteps behind him. Fast. Wrong. He turned. And I saw it. The thing wearing Jamie's face. But stretched, boneless, too tall. Its mouth never closed, just hung open, twitching, as it advanced. Then blackness. Then the sound of chewing. I woke up gagging. Jamie was gone again. This time, I didn't hesitate. I followed his trail through underbrush until I heard a voice, "Don't follow me." I froze. It was Jamie's voice. But it wasn't coming from him. It echoed from the trees. From around me. Then, movement. To my left, a pale figure stepped out. Jamie. But, not. This version had no pack. No knife. No eyes. Just pits. Just grinning teeth. Just skin that didn't fit right. I ran. Hard. Fast. Didn't look back. Didn't stop until I tripped and landed face first in soft dirt. And there, in the loam beneath my fingers, another marker. 2143. My name was carved into this one. Not just carved, burned. The letters fresh. Still smoking. I stared at it for too long. Long enough for the footsteps to catch up. A hand grabbed my shoulder. I screamed. But it was him. The real Jamie. Breathing hard. Eyes wild. "You saw it," he said. I think it saw me. He didn't respond. Just traced my name on the marker. And said, "It's feeding already." We returned to camp. Didn't speak. Didn't sleep. We just sat and waited. For what, I don't know. Dawn never came. We walked under a sun that no longer felt like light. It gave off warmth, sure, but the kind that sweated from fever dreams. And it never moved. Always stuck just past the trees, like a spotlight held by an invisible hand. Jamie said we were in the fold now. Trail within a trail, he muttered. Like a second mouth under the skin. I didn't ask what that meant. I just kept moving. Because I couldn't not move. We reached the next marker around what should have been noon. 2142. This one was made of bone. No, not made of bone. Grown from it. Dozens of long, brittle pieces stacked into a crude totem, bound by sinew. At its base, more names. Not carved. Sewn. Actual threads, crimson dark, spelling letters in looping cursive, Lena Morin, Nathan Calhoun, Jamie Price. Jamie pointed to the last. That wasn't there before, he said. You sure? He didn't look away. It used to be blank. I crouched closer. And realized, it wasn't just my name. It was my handwriting. Why would I write my own name? I asked. Jamie didn't answer right away. When he finally spoke, his voice was flat. Because that's the deal. What deal? To stay yourself, you have to give it permission. It's not like a monster that rips your head off. It eats slow. Bit by bit. You only vanish when you forget to care. When you let it carve you instead. He looked down at the totem. And the sixth person. She didn't make a deal. Lena? No, he said. The one before her. He reached into his bag. Pulled out a water-stained journal. Leather cover. Molded shut. Found this yesterday. Buried under the 2143 marker. Didn't tell you. He peeled it open, carefully. Inside, scribbled pages in pencil. Some torn. Some scratched through. But one was clear. My name is Everett Crane. I'm an anthropologist. I followed the trail markers past 2140, trying to record the language carved into the stone. I thought it was forgotten tribal script. It's not. It's something older. It mimics memory. Devours names. It leaves markers to catalog the ones it eats. Every fifth one is a bloodstone, a recording. If you see your name, you've already started to forget. I looked up. Everett. Who was he? Jamie held up the journal's last page. Just 2 words. No one. Scratched in violently, over and over again. That night, I dreamed of my brother again. But this time, he was standing by a fire. His face changed every time I blinked, young Nate, then old, then hollow-cheeked and covered in moss. He spoke without lips. It remembers better than you do. You left me here. You were always supposed to. Then the spiral appeared behind him. Huge. Turning slowly. And I felt it pulling me in, not my body, but every moment I'd ever forgotten. My 4th birthday. My dad's laugh. Lena's voice. My own name. I woke screaming. Jamie was already packing. We're close, he said. The end of the markers. I stood shakily. How do you know? He didn't look at me when he said it, because I dreamed the last one. We passed 2141 at sunrise. It was half buried under roots. A single hand, too small to be Jamie's, stuck out from the dirt beside it. Still twitching. I didn't stop walking. Neither did he. By midday, we reached the final marker, 2140. It stood at the edge of a cliff overlooking a basin of spiraling trees. All of them twisted clockwise. Unnaturally uniform. The marker wasn't stone or bone this time. It was skin. Stretched tight across a wooden frame. Covered in stitched writing. Our names. Our memories. Our lies. It read like a confession. Everything we'd ever buried under forgetfulness. I saw things there I'd never told another soul. I fell to my knees, nauseous. Jamie stood still. This is where it eats, he said. Where it finishes what we started. The earth trembled. Trees groaned in the distance. And from the spiral below, something rose. I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't a shape, not exactly. It was like a hole wearing skin. A silhouette made of wrong angles and pulsing memory. Faces bloomed across it like boils, Nate's, Lena's, Everett's, my own, all shifting, screaming, remembering. Jamie stepped toward the edge. I've been marked too long, he said. I won't make it out. But you might. He held out the necklace, Lena's pinecone pendant. Take it. Wrap it around your hand. I did. Instantly, the world shimmered. The trees blurred, like they were being redrawn. And the thing screamed. Jamie stepped off the cliff. Without a word. Just. Gone. The moment he vanished, the thing stopped. It turned toward me. Tilted its head. And slowly, retracted. I don't remember the hike back. I just remember waking up on the edge of a ranger's cabin, wrapped in blankets. Starving. Shaking. Alone. They said I'd been missing for 11 days. They found no gear. No second person. Just a necklace clutched in my palm. I tried to find the journal. Gone. I tried to trace the trail on the map. Didn't exist. There's no marker 2140. No Everett Crane in the university archives. Nothing. But when I got home, I checked my old photo albums. The one from '09. From that cursed hike. And there she was. Lena. In every shot. Smiling. Bright. Erased from all our minds. Except now. I don't sleep much anymore. Haven't since I came back. Not because of nightmares, but because of what happens before I fall asleep. Every night, I lie down, close my eyes, and see another marker. A new number. Always one less than the day before. Always closer. Last night was 2139. It was carved into the wall above my bed. I blinked, and it was gone. But I remembered it. Just like I remember Jamie's scream as he fell, not in fear, but in relief. They never found him. No sign. No body. No footprints except mine. After a while, they stopped looking. Said I'd probably gotten lost alone, hallucinated, confabulated memories under trauma. That was their phrase. Confabulated. I don't argue with them. What am I going to say? No, officer, I was inside a hunger loop in an old growth trail beyond time, running from a memory predator that feeds on name and self. Yeah. Hard pass. I started writing everything down. Every detail. Every word I could remember. I pinned maps to my wall. Poured through archives. Old USGS surveys. Eventually, I found one thing. An unmarked gap in Oregon's Willamette National Forest. A half-mile stretch missing from satellite data. Completely blank. It wasn't even blacked out, just omitted. Erased. I drove there last week. Parked off-road and hiked in. 12 miles through rain and fog. Eventually found an old ranger sign, rotted and half-swallowed by vines. One word still visible, trail, that was all. The rest had been eaten. I didn't go in. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. Felt it like hunger behind my ribs. But I didn't. Not until I saw the marker. Nestled in moss, behind the sign. Freshly carved. Still red. 2139. I drove home in silence. Tried to forget. But the trail followed me. Not in body. In pull. Everywhere I look now, I see signs. People forgetting. Not just names. Whole selves. My barista one day smiled like we were friends, next day, looked through me. A kid on the bus reciting a list of names like a prayer. Sometimes, at night, I hear Jamie's voice on the wind. Saying, we feed the trail, or it eats what's left. I've come to understand something. It wasn't just a place. It's a system. A cycle. The trail isn't in the woods. It uses the woods. Like a shell. A decoy. But the real trail is in us. Our grief. Our erasure. Our refusal to remember the missing. That's how it feeds. We hike through tragedy, call it nature. Say, oh, that's sad. A few hikers vanish every year. And we move on. Because it's easier than remembering that some of them are still out there. Or worse. That some of them never left. I'm not sure how long I've got left. The markers are getting closer. Last night it was 2138. Etched into the condensation on my bathroom mirror. Perfect. Cursive. My handwriting. So here's the truth, there were always 6 of us. Lena was real. So was Everett. And Jamie. And Nate. And me. And someone else. Someone I can't remember. But I can feel their absence. Like a missing tooth my tongue keeps finding. Someone we all agreed to forget. Someone the trail asked for in return. I think that's the deal. You enter with names and memories. You leave with space. An opening. A vacancy that it can use. Because when memory dies, so do you. I know you don't believe me. Not really. You're reading this thinking, cool story. Creepy. Just fiction. But ask yourself something. Right now. Can you name all your childhood friends? Do you remember the exact voice of someone who passed 10 years ago? What about the kid you sat next to in 3rd grade? You know there was someone. But not the name. Not the face. And when you sleep tonight, listen closely. You might hear it too. The whisper. The invitation. The trail is always hungry. And now it knows your name.